Hi folks, so in this video I'm going to do my response to the I Am A Wargamer challenge. This started with Spud over on Chilling Wargamers, and I've been nominated to do this by Luke from Skirmish Miniature Gaming. So if you haven't already checked out his channel, go down, there'll be a link in the description there to go and check it out. But essentially what I have to do is I have to answer 4 questions. The first question is, how did I get into wargaming? The second question is, how did I get into making YouTube videos? The third question is, where would I like to see the channel in 5 years' time? And the fourth one is, what advice would I give to anybody just starting out making YouTube videos? So let's get into those questions. So how did I get into wargaming? I think I've maybe answered this before, maybe on some live streams and stuff, but not everybody might have seen this. So if I think back, I was probably around, it's got to be around late 80s, 87, 88, around that time. I was about 12 years old, I would say. And a friend of mine, basically, we used to go and play. I remember playing like Commodore 64 games back at his house, and he had an older brother, and his older brother was probably maybe 16, 17, I think, his brother. And on a shelf in his bedroom, he had all these painted miniatures, and he was a fantastic painter. I didn't really know anything about sort of Citadel miniatures back then, and I now know, looking back, that those miniatures were Blood Bowl miniatures, and that's what he used to paint. So we would maybe go into town. There was a shop in Sunderland, where I'm from originally, called Joseph's Toy Shop, for anybody from the northeast. And they used to sell the kind of the individual Citadel miniatures and the pewter ones in the blister packs. So we would maybe buy one of those. Didn't have a lot of pocket money back then, so building armies and stuff was kind of out of my reach. And we'd buy the odd pot of paint here and there. And we wouldn't really play the game. We'd just maybe sit and paint some things. You know, forgetting to put primer on, that kind of stuff, buying Humbrol paints or kind of enamel paints with gloss finishes and stuff. They were awful. But that was the point where I was kind of aware of miniature gaming, I suppose. And then probably, if we fast forward to probably about, I was about 14. So we're talking about 1989 here. My parents bought me Hero Quest for Christmas, and then I started to kind of to look at it a little bit more, and I actually was kind of playing Hero Quest with my sister. I still got that original Hero Quest box now, and in that box is the kind of the character sheets that me and my sister were filling out, some of the kind of the names and stuff that we created, and we played a little bit then. My parents didn't really play. I didn't really have any friends who were into it. So it kind of fizzled out from that point, and I didn't really kind of look at any miniature gaming again. I was more into sports, more into video games, did a lot of kind of video game stuff right up until kind of probably my early 30s. And I'm trying to remember, I've got some dates written down here so I don't kind of get them mixed up. Around 2007, 2008, I just had twin boys. They were probably about 5 by this point, 4 or 5. And I was spending a lot of time at home. I was kind of busy at work all day, coming home, obviously 2 young kids, a lot on my plate really, and a lot of the things I used to do, kind of going out and playing sports and going to away games and watching football and stuff, they kind of started to come back. I used to have a motorbike, so I was out kind of on my bike at weekends and stuff. Once the kids came along, that all seemed to disappear. So I was looking for a hobby basically, and I remember being in the Metro Centre in Gateshead and walking past the Games Workshop, and there in the window was all these fantastically painted miniatures. So I thought, well, I remember these from being a kid. I'll pick up a box of Space Marines, I'll pick up a few paints, and I'll just do a bit of painting and a bit of modelling, and that's what I did for some time. Basically, I was painting up a Raven Guard force, and with no intentions of ever really playing the game, just enjoying modelling, just building them up and just painting them, looking at some of the books to get some references of colour schemes and things. And then it got to a point where I had quite a lot of this painted, so I decided to find a local club where I could learn to play 40k. I went and had a demo game. The demo game was awful. I judged 40k by that demo game for a long time. I had an awful experience with the demo that I had, and I pretty much sold off my Space Marine straight after it. I just thought, I'm never going to use these. I don't want to play that game. But what I did do, going to that club, opened my eyes to all the different games that are out there. And at that point, I started playing Malifaux. So yeah, this was probably about 2010 by this point. So I was 34 by then. I started playing Malifaux, and that was when I got into it. Played Malifaux for about a year, 18 months, started playing War Machine and Hordes, and started travelling to events and tournaments and British Championships and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was how I got started. So how did I get into making YouTube videos? So as I said before, I was playing quite a lot. I had some kind of personal kind of things I had to deal with around probably about 2012. I was going through a divorce and that kind of stuff, and trying to find somewhere else to live. Miniature gaming took a real backseat. It wasn't really a priority at that point. So I didn't really do anything miniature gaming wise from 2012 until about 2016. February 2016, I backed the Walking Dead Kickstarter. I was a big fan of the Walking Dead comics. I'd still kind of kept an eye on things online and looking at wargaming and stuff. And I backed the Walking Dead Kickstarter from Mantic. Now, randomly, when I went back and researched these dates, I backed it in February 2016, and it arrived at my house in November 2016, the first wave for that. I couldn't believe when I went back and I had to go back and double check the dates. I couldn't believe it had delivered so quickly. So kudos to you, Mantic, 4 years ago with the delivery dates. But when I was kind of interested, I was watching a lot of YouTube back then. I had an intention of maybe starting a YouTube channel around airsoft. I played a bit of airsoft with my kids, who they must have been about 12 or 13 by this point. And I wanted to start an airsoft YouTube channel. I was really interested in just making videos and understanding how everything worked. But what happened was the Kickstarter arrived November 2016. I think I must have been one of the first people to receive their copy, because there wasn't really any content on YouTube at the time. So I decided to start a channel, and I did an unboxing of my Walking Dead Kickstarter. That got quite a few views because obviously people hadn't received theirs yet, and people started to subscribe. And I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I decided I wanted to make a board because the paper mats weren't particularly fantastic. So I made myself a board, and then that got shared by Mantic, and people started subscribing. And I just kind of got on this journey of really enjoying it. I was engaging with a community of people and hobbyists that I couldn't get access to. I wasn't going to gaming clubs or anything at this point. And YouTube at the time then was less kind of, I say professional inverted commas, but it was more just folks enjoying the hobby. It was like the next stage from maybe like online forums, where instead of just showing pictures on a forum and chatting about it, people would make kind of hobby videos and share their hobby with each other. And there was a bit of a YouTube community sprang up around that. So it was interesting to be part of that, really. And then over time, I really got bit by the bug. I love doing it. I love the video making side of it. I love the editing process. I love sort of coming up with ideas for videos. But most of all, I love engaging with the wider community, and that's what's kept me going through all this. So yeah, that was how I got into YouTube. The third question: where would I like to see my channel in 5 years' time? And this is quite an interesting one, because when I first started, it was a bit of fun. It was a hobby in itself, and over time, I've been doing this 4 years in November now, and I've grown to absolutely love it. I'm really passionate about sort of YouTube and making videos, and combining that with my love of wargaming and tabletop gaming. It's really given me an opportunity to do something a little bit different. So recently I actually went full time. So this is now my full-time job, and I'm trying to do something a bit different with it. I'm not doing it for the clicks and the views. I'm trying to do it about crafting videos around the stuff that I love and I'm interested in, and hopefully that comes across on camera. It's not about sort of the big games all the time. So if I wanted to just create videos to get more and more views, I'd focus on things like 40k or the Games Workshop games, because there's a bigger audience for it. But I think there's a lot of games out there that are fantastic, have some beautiful minis, some great rule sets, but maybe don't get the kind of love and attention that others do on YouTube. So I want to kind of create that little small sort of niche within a niche, that little small area. And the way I've done this is by the community, the community that's grown up around my channel. They support me both through Patreon, through buying sort of t-shirts and merchandise, and shopping through affiliate links and that kind of stuff. And that's allowed me to grow to a place where I'm not relying upon YouTube ad revenue or sponsored videos to kind of to pay my wage, if you like. And so in 5 years' time, I hope to basically just continue to grow and get to a point where it's sustainable and it's stable, basically, as an income point of view. I'm not looking to get rich from this. I'm not looking to be a big YouTuber. I still don't really consider myself a YouTuber. I'm like a kind of like a hobby community type sort of creator, if you like, but I don't see myself as a YouTuber. So I'm just hoping to really to get it to that point, just at a point where I'm not worrying about kind of have I got enough money each month to pay bills. So if you are interested in supporting that, please check out my Patreon. There'll be a link down in the description. So the fourth question: what advice would I give to anybody just starting? The first is don't overthink it. Don't worry about kind of how I look on camera. Don't worry about, does my background look good? What kind of sort of, is my camera good enough? Is my sound quality good enough? All these kind of things. Just dive in and give it a go. When I first started, my mobile phone probably wasn't very good. I didn't have a particularly good phone then. And I used a GoPro for quite some time. The sound wasn't very good, so I kind of upgraded and bought a microphone and stuff. But now things are very different. If you've got a relatively recent, within the last sort of 2 or 3 years, mobile phone, it's gonna be pretty much good enough than anything else. And I wasted a lot of money over the years buying stuff that I just didn't need. I thought I needed, but I was kind of getting ahead of myself really, and I wish I hadn't really kind of spent as much as I did back in the early days, because you won't make a lot of money from YouTube, especially in the early days, to almost fund it. So you have to treat it like a hobby, and only really kind of only buy the things because you want them, not because you really need them in the early stage. Another piece of advice I would give you is make videos about what you enjoy. If you're just making videos to try and get views, you're more likely to be making stuff about things you're not that passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, especially when you're just first starting out on YouTube, that will quite easily come across on camera. It takes a long time to kind of get comfortable in front of a camera for most people. So if you're not really comfortable doing it and you're talking about something that you're not hugely interested in, that's going to show. So just concentrate on doing the stuff you love. Don't worry about views. Don't worry about subscribers. You can't influence that kind of stuff. You can't force people to subscribe to your channel. You can't force people to watch it. You can do all you can over time to try and increase the chance of that. But what you can concentrate on, what you can control, is just making videos. So the more videos you make, the more chance you have of people watching it. So if you're serious about it and you want to kind of try and grow a channel, just concentrate on making the videos. Don't worry about subscribers. Don't worry about the views. That'll all come at some point down the track. Probably the last thing I would say as well is kind of ignore the negativity. I think as you do start to get some views, some people will just say some nasty things at times, and you have to kind of look beyond that. It's very easy to ignore all of the nice comments and focus on that one kind of not very nice comment. There are always going to be people out there, unfortunately, that just like to say bad things. So try and look past that, and just enjoy it. It's a hobby. It's not a job really. It is your hobby. So if you are enjoying it, that will come across. Anyway, I need to nominate 3 other channels, and I'm going to nominate 3 of my Patreons, folks that are supporting me, so I'm going to try and support them. The first one is Deb's with Hobby Studio. Deb is a relatively new YouTuber, and she is making videos about sort of different basing, how to do different basing methods, and also she's started a little series which is kind of words from the not so wise, which I think is really fun, and it's her thoughts as a relatively new YouTuber and a new hobbyist, against that kind of sea of people that's been doing this for sort of 25, 30 years. So it's an awesome channel to check out. I'll put a link for all of these channels down in the description. Please do go and check it out. But Deb, for you, I'd like you to kind of to give us your story now. The second one is Kieran from Odd-Sided Dice Podcast. Kieran has been doing a podcast with a friend of his for a little while now, but they only recently just started their YouTube channel. They've got about 3 or 4 videos up there now, and they've just done their first battle report for Zone Alpha. So yeah, please do go and check them out, give them some support. And yeah, Kieran, you're up next as well, mate. And the last one I'm going to shout is Luke Pryor. Luke has a channel called Standard Tabletop. He does a lot of live stream stuff, kind of hobby painting and hobby hangouts and things. He's been around gaming for quite some time. He does a few bits and pieces with the Dice Tower guys as well. But really entertaining to watch. He's a bit of a natural, really, just dead relaxed when he's on camera, just. It's good to see other people trying to do a little bit of live streaming as well. It's something that you don't see too much on YouTube these days. So yeah, it's nice to see a bit of live streaming. So yeah, Luke, you're the third one. That's it, folks. Thanks very much for watching. If you have got a YouTube channel, why not get involved in this? Why not just, don't wait to be nominated. Just make the video and nominate 3 of your friends as well. So it'll be interesting to see who you nominate. And if you've already done this challenge, put your link down in the description so I can go and watch them. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.